Timeout, Riverton. Fans, we'd again like to remind you to make your way to the concession stand. Riverton High School FFA chapter is selling a variety of snacks, drinks, and
back to Wolverine Field. Wolverines in the middle of a timeout. They are on the move.
A wide variety of soft drinks and other snack services.
After the forced punt, we traded a couple of interceptions this quarter, tied at 7s.
Scan it, and you can find
and after the timeout, it'll be Wolverine football, 1st and 10 from the Rawlins 44-yard line. We just saw Derek DeVries with a 5-yard run on 3rd down to move the chains for the Wolverines. So Riverton starting to settle into the ball game a little bit more, it looks like, here, both offensively and defensively, after a mid-first quarter touchdown and a lengthy drive from the Rawlins Outlaws. They answered at a short drive that was capped off by a Ty Sheets 12-yard touchdown catch from Derek DeVries. And now Riverton on the move, 1st and 10 from the Rawlins 44, out of the RHS timeout with 5:48 to play in the second quarter. Tight formation, and DeVries is just going to take it and run with it. Looked behind him like he wanted potentially to hand it off to somebody, but Derek still manages to get 4 yards out of the play.
Yeah, pretty clearly a miscommunication in the backfield there, with DeVries now favoring that ankle as he walks toward the home sideline to get the play call for the second down play. Just some kind of miscommunication by somebody in the backfield between the quarterback and the running back, expecting a back to his left side, and there was nobody there. Just did what he could to make a bad play good. Did pick up about 3 yards.
Unfortunately, Scott, we haven't gone a game this season without mentioning Derek's ankle. Tolman and Gattenbein behind DeVries. They'll give it to Gattenbein, who has a burst of speed as soon as he takes the football, and will be shy of the first down marker, but picks up a gain of 4.
Coach told you in the pregame show, Jared, that Jordan May is going to be out for the foreseeable future with a lower body injury. May come back later on in the season, but Coach Lenhart did not sound optimistic. So now it's backfield by committee.
We'd like to ask the homecoming
back there.
to report to the staging area near
a couple other options that we've seen throughout the season as well. Jordan May, the big bruising back, down for the next few games at least, from the sounds of it.
3rd down and 2 for the Wolverines. DeVries is just going to take it, try to use those blocks from the offensive lineman. He is right at the first down marker, and as they say, it all depends on the spot here, as the referees will come in and eyeball it. They'll say first down.
Yeah, field judge giving him just the nose of the football. Side judge walking in as well, and they'll move the sticks. 4:18 to go before the end of the first half. Still tied at 7. Low scoring affair, which I guess isn't that surprising. Riverton can throw the ball, but we've got weather conditions with the wind, and we know that Rawlins coming in likes that loaded backfield. They want to run first and foremost, so every point matters as we approach halftime.
3 receivers out to the left side. DeVries wants to throw, looking over the middle. He's got McIntosh to the end zone from 39 yards out. DeVries to Nick McIntosh, and Riverton's on top.
During the Star Valley broadcast last week, we mentioned that deep crosser, and we may have even mentioned for this game specifically that you would enjoy seeing that, and we have a packed near side, home side stands in front of us here, Jared, and they did enjoy that. DeVries to McIntosh slant.
McIntosh with the hold now as Saltzgaver kicks it through the uprights. Good. And with 3:53 to play in the second quarter, Riverton has their first lead of the ball game, 14-7. Good pass, DeVries to McIntosh, making some things happen after the catch again. And there's the favorite target through most of the season so far, Nick McIntosh again finding the end zone.
And the flags were not whipping around as much during that last play. And DeVries using a bit of a hole in the weather a little bit. Still breezy down there on the field, but to get that ball where it needed to be. Deep crosser. Heard Coach Lenhart sounded in that pregame interview, Jared, like he had a very good offensive feel for what he was going to see against Rawlins. They wanted to do some single high cover 3, that they wanted to, at times, just go cover zero and go straight man-to-man across the board. And you kind of wait for that look, guess when it's going to come, and that play will work every time against a single high or cover zero situation. Those two guys, DeVries and McIntosh, just have each other down when it comes to running that route.
Cavallo and Fonseca back deep to receive the end-over-end kick from Saltzgaver. He fields it at about the 10-yard line, quickly across the 20, and picks up a starting field position right around the 28-yard line. That's where Rawlins will take over here with 3:48 to play, second quarter. Riverton now on top of Rawlins at 14-7. Again, we apologize for our technical delays in this one, trying to get a variety of things worked out, but appreciate your patience. Thanks for sticking with us. And looks like our radio audience is back with us on 105.1 Jack FM. So welcome you to a chilly Wolverine field where it is mostly cloudy, but there's a hint of blue sky out there. Allard is going to pitch this one to Fonseca. Fonseca's hit right at the original line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard on the play. Nice job by the Wolverine defense.
Not sure that Rawlins is ready to abandon their game plan just yet. They want to utilize run game between the tackle. They want to, as you saw on that play, extend the field a little bit side to side if possible. If the Wolverines are able to get a 3-and-out here and put up a touchdown before the end of the first half, which we've seen the Wolverines do, move down the field and score late in halves, that would put a lot of passing pressure on Rawlins entering the second half.
It was Nick McIntosh on the nice defensive play. Again, the pitch to the other side to Fonseca, and it's going to be just about the same result. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more that time. And another
Fonseca, the ball carrier.
Good job by the Wolverine defenders to stretch it out. And we're going to look at a third down and 11 after no gain. The clock now inside of 3 minutes to play in the half.
This is a tough spot for Rawlins. They don't like to throw, and Riverton, if they so choose, have an ability to drop 7 or 8 guys into pass coverage here. Watch out for a screen or even a draw, but I'd watch a screen pass here. Otherwise, just drop back and keep everything in front of you if you're Riverton.
It's Cavallo out of the shotgun, throws it into traffic, intercepted, taken away by Larson, the second pick of the game for the Wolverines, and Larson is there.
Saw a flag on the field.
The first down.
It came after the end of the play, and I'm not sure it didn't fall out of his pocket, Jared, to be honest with you. I think we did just see an indication by the official and missed it. But it was indicated against. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they're just calling for the chains. So I don't believe a penalty on the play. Forcing a team offensively to do something uncomfortable, they don't like that. No offense likes a 3rd and 12, but Rawlins especially. They want, if they're going to throw the ball, they want inside 3rd and 5.
Wolverine fans, Coach Lenhart and their staff love seeing those takeaways defensively. Second pick of the ball game. It's Riverton Football at the Rawlins 46. Play action, trying to find Saltzgaver was DeVries, but it bounces off of his hands and hits the turf, incomplete. DeVries now 5 for 11.
Love the design of this play as Tyree Harris-Aragon kind of goes out on that roll with DeVries, and it's kind of an extra blocker there on the move. That might be one of the ways that the Wolverines are trying to combat something that we've seen pop up. The offensive line having difficulty when DeVries rolls, when he moves in the pocket. They sometimes lose pass protection then. So that was kind of a designed offensive line rollout there with Harris-Aragon helping out.
4-man front defensively for Rawlins. Tight power formation for the Wolverines. DeVries is going to fake the handoff. Good pickup on the block by Gattenbein. Gives DeVries enough time to find his favorite target of the night so far, Nick McIntosh, and a pickup of 8 or 9.
This is a scary moment if you're Rawlins. Riverton has full capability of their offense. The wind is blowing as you look kind of at their back and from right to left on the screen. I should say the near sideline to the far sideline if you're watching on the YouTube channel. Wind is still a factor, but Riverton is able to do anything they want offensively, and they have shown that they can move the ball at the end of first halves and score.
3rd and 1, Gattenbein again in the backfield. Sheets goes in motion. DeVries is just going to take it off to the right side. He's hit right away, and I don't think he got there. May have picked up half a yard, but I think the Wolverines are going to look at a 4th and short.
Rawlins selling out to stop the run on that play. They had just about everybody within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Derek has carried the ball 8 times now, and I was completely wrong. The official's going to wave him over and say first down.
I thought he was short, too. I mean, we'll take it, but it looks short from here as well. The officials give Riverton a fresh 4.
3 receivers to the right of DeVries. Sheets is to the right, 3 to the left, and he wants to go to the right, and that's complete to Sheets for another Wolverine first down.
DeVries has enough time in the pocket there to sit and wait and let that cross across the middle
Another Wolverine.
show itself between the windows of the defense. That's a nice pickup, and still with plenty of time. Minute 38 left to go for the Wolverines.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for DeVries. That Sheets grab was his 3rd for 31 yards now. DeVries takes a moment to look at his coaching staff with 1:25 remaining in the half. DeVries out of the shotgun, looking for the end zone, just out of the diving reach of McIntosh, incomplete.
Rollins has to figure out some kind of defensive adjustment here, because DeVries and McIntosh are just going to be able to pick apart any single high look that they get. You kind of have to pick your poison if you're Rollins. But if I were them, I would stop the pass first, as DeVries is too accurate a passer and too good in the pocket to rely on a single high safety. Might stop it for a play or two, but that was about 6 inches from being a diving touchdown in the end zone.
2nd down and 10 from the Rawlins 23-yard line. Sheets goes in motion. He's got 4 receivers to the left side, and DeVries wants to run to the left side. He's got a big gap, and Derek is going to be right near the first down marker. Gain of about 10 on the ground, and we'll see if that's good enough for another Riverton first down as they're looking to go a little more tempo.
They do give DeVries the first down, and it was the extra effort after he was contacted there. He was hit about a yard short of the first down, but he kept those feet going. I think this is not a first and goal. They're just outside the 10 here.
DeVries in the shotgun, fades to throw again, looking to the end zone. Wants Saltzgaver, it's caught, touchdown! Derek DeVries to Branson Saltzgaver in the right corner of the end zone. And the Wolverines have tallied their 3rd touchdown of the ball game.
No, you can't go single high safety against Riverton. They have DeVries in the pocket. He's very accurate. They have 2-3 receiving options who are faster than anybody that Rawlins has in the secondary. They're going to have to figure out, Rawlins is something at halftime, to come up with a defensive X's and O's counter to this, because it's going to be a long day for them here on the road if they want to keep persisting with this defense that they came in with.
Branson Saltzgaver had the touchdown. Hunter Saltzgaver comes on and kicks the extra point in. We heard Coach Lenhart, at least you and I in the pregame show, Scott, heard Coach Lenhart say that Branson Saltzgaver was going to be a key contributing factor to this team, and didn't say directly because of the injury to Ryan Cox, who was out for this game, by the way, after a hard hit he took in the Star Valley game, but did say to watch for Saltzgaver more in the backfield, and there he was spread out as a receiver and made a nice grab in the corner of the end zone. So Wolverine fans got to love seeing this with the scoreboard now, the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard in favor of Riverton 21-7. Still 1:02 remaining in the second quarter as Saltzgaver will put it on the tee and back deep to receive for these Rawlins Outlaws are Covelo and Fonseca.
Deep for the Outlaws is Fonseca and Covelo.
Just make sure defensive. First of all, good kick cover here, which we've seen lately from the Wolverines. Just
gonna kick it on the ground, see if an Upman fields it. That will finally go all the way back to Fonseca, who's driven out of bounds right at the 22-yard line. So There's some hesitation on whether or not Rawlins upmen were going to pick it up. It bounces back to Fonseca, who didn't have a lot of room because he had a kickoff gunner right in his grill there. With 1:01 to play, Rawlins will take over at their own 22-yard line. Opportunity here for the Outlaws to try to get something productive going before halftime. Coach Hastings in his second year with this Rawlins Outlaw program, and we mentioned it during the Porter's Tailgate show, but Rawlins has picked up 2 nice wins on the season. They dropped down a class to beat Burns in the first week of the year, a 2A opponent. There's a handoff to Villapando, and Damian is going to scored free for a gain of about 5 on first down. Conservative play call with just a minute remaining in the quarter. Rawlins also knocked off Green River for their first conference win since 2019. Beating a 3A opponent. Lost last week to Moffat County, Colorado. Also lost in a 6-0 defensive slugfest to Pinedale earlier this year, with the clock inside at 30 seconds now.
Taking a lot of time.
Shotgun snap to Allard. Little reverse action. Fonseca's going to take it on the right side. He's got some room. First down, and Jackson Larson's going to make sure he doesn't get much more than across the 35-yard line down to about the 38 with 15 seconds to play.
Most important for Rawlins at the end of that play, gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 15.2, as Jared just indicated, on the clock. So you have time for a couple of more. Might have to take a little further than a reverse into that bag of tricks here for Rawlins. We'll see what they come out with. Very uncomfortable for a slow, methodical, run-first offense to get into a hurry-up situation at the end of a half anyway. And then you tend not to have a whole lot of tricks in the bag when it comes to gaining 61 yards in 15 seconds now.
Allard in the shotgun, joined by 2 in the backfield. They're going to pitch it to Covelo, who is smothered. That Talon Toman was all over him. Toman, the defensive point leader for this Wolverine team, coming into the game, and he added some more defensive points there that will take us to the half on the big play by Talon Toman.
Standing ovation by the home side, near side fans. Many of them anyway, as Riverton exits the homecoming field up by 2 touchdowns. And that's exactly what Coach Linhart told you prior to the start of the game, Jared, that they wanted to do. Didn't happen as quickly as I think he'd like. Tied at 7 at the end of the first quarter, but great second quarter there by the Riverton offense. They really figured out that single high look that Rollins is giving them in the second half. And now Rollins is in a bit of a pickle as they come out here in the second half, because they have to not only stop this right now red-hot Riverton pass attack, doing pretty much anything they want to their secondary, but they have to find a way to catch up with a very slow, methodical run-first kind of an offense. This is an uncomfortable situation for Rollins in the second half in many ways.
We're going to hope that our camera guy Jason can grab a shot of some of the homecoming royalty here. It is homecoming nights at Riverton High School, and as they are carried past, we'll announce the royalty to you. The second attendant, a familiar name to the broadcast, Ty Sheets, and a familiar name that you will hear on the basketball court for the Lady Wolverines this year, Paisley Jackson. There's Ty and Paisley. The second attendants. The first attendants are Ezra Hernandez and Josie Hudson. And this year's homecoming king is Parker Paxton. The homecoming queen is Maya McLaughlin. So if you're watching on the County 10 stream, hopefully you can see them on your stream. But congratulations to all the homecoming royalty. It's been a good week for Parker Paxton. He wins the state golf championship, his 4th in a row, and now is the homecoming king, as there's the royalty all getting together. Don't see Paisley down there, but the rest of them will gather. And if you're watching along on County 10's YouTube channel,
he was nominated by the student council.
You can listen in to Aziz Wahid, who's bringing you a few comments about the homecoming royalty. Again, at the half here, Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, it's Riverton 21 and Rawlins 7. It's an extended halftime show. They add an extra 5 minutes on so we can get the
and Maya McLaughlin.
Homecoming royalty announced. There's the announcement of the king and queen, and a nice ovation from the Wolverine fans. Talked to Coach Lenhart about homecoming, and he said, I don't know a coach on earth that likes homecoming week because there's so many distractions and so many other things going on, but said it's fun for the kids. It's a part of their youth experience, but there's a lot of distractions this week. Said despite that, though, they had a really good week of practice, and he feels like his kids are pretty dialed in.
He said this week, defensively especially, might be the best defensive week of practice of the season so far. And yes, there are a ton of distractions, but it does mean a lot to the kids. Definitely means a lot to the community and the family members of the homecoming royalty. I'll tell you one small consolation from the coaching side for Coach Lenhart right now. He's up on the scoreboard. It's much nicer to have these guys out here doing the homecoming stuff at halftime when you are leading by 2 touchdowns.
Again, at the break, it's Riverton 21, Rawlins 7. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will run down some first-half stats for you and look ahead to the second half of action. Wolverines on top of the Outlaws, 21-7. You are watching the Riverton football on county10.com and listening to the Wolverines on 105.1 Jack FM.
Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmbs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency is a proud supporter of Riverton High School Wolverine athletics. We understand the importance of community, and we're excited to be a part of it. As your neighbor, we're here to help you with all your insurance needs. We offer auto, homeowners, renters, business, and life insurance. So stop in and say hi, or give us a call today. The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency will be here for you.
Make your home improvement projects a breeze with Sutherland's, your home improvement experts. Always the right products at the right price. For every project, every day. You can shop and pay online at Sutherlands.com, and we'll get it ready for easy in-store pickup. With the tools and the know-how, you can count on Sutherland's for any job. With over 30,000 items in stock, make your first stop at Sutherland's Home Improvement in Casper and Riverton.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? Because in real life, you don't get a second chance.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton Football is on 105.1 Jack FM.
Welcome you into the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. The Wyoming Department of Transportation reminding you to always wear your seatbelt no matter how far or short your drive across Wyoming is. And more important than ever right now as we see some snow flying on some of the mountain passes in Wyoming. Saw Togety Pass with some snow this morning, and a good chance that there may be a flake or two on South Pass tonight. So keep that in mind and always buckle up. A very enthused Scott Fuller and I here from halftime at Wolverine Field. I'll tell you something we should be enthused about, though, is this Wolverine team here. As
the scoreboard's correct right there, 21-7.
Lead on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, 21-7. RHS putting all of their points on the board in the second quarter. Rawlins actually found the scoreboard first at the 6:58 mark of the first quarter. Was Charlie Fonseca on an 8-yard touchdown run after Rawlins put together a lengthy scoring drive. Riverton found the scoreboard on the second play of the second quarter with 11:55 remaining. It was Ty Sheets from 12 yards out, a pass from Derek DeVries, 7-7. At the 3:53 mark, DeVries to McIntosh from 39 yards out, and at the 102 mark of the second quarter was DeVries to Branson Saltzgaver from 12 yards out. So 3 nice touchdown passes from Derek DeVries. He does have the 1 interception, but he's 8 of 15 overall and feels like he's settled into the Wolverine offense. Riverton defense did have a couple of takeaways, 2 interceptions. So one of those interceptions to Nick McIntosh and another one to Larson, as Larson came up with a big catch. Jackson Larson, a junior on this team that is second for the Wolverines on points defensively, adding to that total with a takeaway there. So good to see Riverton getting into the action on defense as well after that lengthy drive in the first quarter.
If I have heard this correctly back from the studio, I want to welcome listeners on KOVE as well. And with Wyatt Barichka up in Buffalo in a lightning delay, I think we're on the Lander stream right now, as well as some bonus coverage.
Lander folks probably confused as to why we're on KOVE, but lightning in Buffalo, so that's never fun, but also nothing to mess around with. So Wyatt will wait that out for you and bring you Lander and Buffalo when that one is safe to resume. Let's take a look at some 3A scores from across the state here at the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. No surprise, number 1 Cody out in front of their opponent Jackson 40-0. I was interested in that game just from a standpoint of Jackson's only played 1 team in Wyoming so far this year, so I wanted to see how they'd fare against Cody, and a 40-point differential in the fourth quarter I think is about as good as you can expect when you're taking on a team like Cody. At halftime, it's number 3 Powell leading Green River 23-3. Douglas and Worland coming up. Actually, that should have just kicked off a few moments ago. Don't have a report on that one yet. And also a 7 o'clock kickoff that's just underway from Afton, where we were last week. Evanston taking on Star Valley for the Braves homecoming night tonight at Star Valley High School. Again, Wyatt is standing by for a lightning delay. I'm told, thanks to YO Preps, that Buffalo was up on Lander before the delay, 14-0. There's 7:05 remaining in the first quarter, so a quick couple of scores from Buffalo, and the lightning delay came quick in that one, but we'll keep you up to date on those scores here as this game progresses, and for our KOVE listeners, we'll get you back just as soon as that resumes.
Yes, indeed, better safe than sorry up there in Buffalo, obviously, so might be a late night for the guys getting home, depending on what they decide to do up there, waiting for the weather to pass. Here in Riverton, weather has been a factor. No rain, knock on wood, but some wind, and it's getting chilly here at the stadium. Definitely a football feeling kind of a first half as the sun starts to go down, but everybody here in the homecoming crowd is very excited about, I think, what they saw in the second quarter, especially there, Jared, up 21-7 against Rawlins, a team that they have seen, obviously, in conference play pretty much every year for a long time. And I was really impressed with that second quarter offensively for Riverton. They also stepped up with those picks defensively. But the coaching staff seemed to be dialed in. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. And as I mentioned, didn't happen right away in the game. But by the end of the first half, they were able to execute that. Now Rawlins is forced to come back. A team that's not really designed to do that here in the second half.
Yeah, I think Coach Lenhart would like to see a little bit more productivity out of the backfield for his offense, but really like what that passing game is doing, especially Derek DeVries coming through with 3 touchdown passes there. In the second quarter, Derek is also the leading rusher in the game, which probably isn't ideal, but he's carried the ball 9 times for 33 yards. Blake Gattenbines carried it 4 times for 9 yards. Ty Sheets once for 4 yards. Talon Tobin has carried it once for 4 yards. So see if some of the running back by committee can get things going a little bit more, but just overall feels really good to see Riverton put some points on the scoreboard and get out in front of Rawlins here as the Wolverines looking for their first win on the season. But talked about it with Coach, just a rough start on the scheduling front to the season for Riverton too. But if you're going to see those 3 great teams in 3A football, might as well get them out of the the way so you can focus on winning here down the midway point of the season.
I was just thinking about that here during the second quarter, that as rough as some of those scores ended up being, you wonder if it doesn't play into some of Riverton's mentality here now that they're up by 2 touchdowns into the second half, saying we were able to move the ball against Powell. We moved the ball here and there against Cody in the first half especially. These guys, frankly, are neither of those two teams. Go out and close. Go out and win. And that's one thing that we've talked about. I know you've talked about with Coach Linhart. The winning after you've been struggling as a program for a long time is a learned skill, to be able to close out games and to not bend any and come out. Those teams like Cody and the Powells in the Star Valleys that we see, they've known this for a few years now, how to come out and just put their proverbial foot on the throat of the opponent and not give them an inch. And that's what Coach Lenhart is trying to instill, that winning culture here in Riverton. You come out and you play just as well as you did in the second half. Just because you're up by 2 touchdowns doesn't mean you have any more mistakes you're able to make than you did in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see how this team does fare out of the halftime locker room. I'm sure some version of what we just mentioned is the basic message from Coach Lenhart in the halftime locker room right now.
Again, this is the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show, made possible by the Wyoming Department of Transportation. Riverton on top of Rawlins 21-7. Gave you some 3A scores. Let me run down a couple of updates from Fremont County games of interest. There was 6-man football this afternoon as the DuBois Rams rolled over the Farson Eden Pronghorns. That was an all-ranked matchup, and DuBois made pretty easy work of number 5 Farson, 60-15.
Gotta wonder how good they are this year.
Yeah, the Rams lost pretty handily to Little Snake River, and everybody expects big things from Little Snake River, but I think you may see that as a rematch in the title game. I'd love to see Coach David Tremblay and DuBois get there. Also, a big shout-out to the Wind River Cougars, who played the number 1 team and won a 9-man football last night, and Wind River holds home field and wins that game 28-21. Cougars return the second half kickoff for a touchdown, and Cooper Frederick had a 76-yard pick 6 in that ball game. But Wind River, 4th-rated team in 9-man football, knocking off number 1 yesterday in a game that Wyatt Barijka brought you. If you want to watch some of the highlights or watch that archived, you can on County 10's YouTube page. But fun to see a couple of wins for Fremont County teams. Wyatt and I chatted about this on the County 10 Sports Podcast this week, that it hasn't been very good out of everybody, top to bottom, in Fremont County the last couple of weeks. So starting to see some more wins this time around.
Yeah, always good to see. And we have a couple of teams already. Maybe the Wolverines are one of those where we've got a couple of wins that we can look forward to here at home and on the road. But first things first, still looking for win number 1 and plenty of football left here in this one.
Round out some county info here for you real quick. Wyoming Indian just kicked off at Grable tonight. We'll try to get a score as that progresses. And tomorrow you've got another Fremont County game if you're interested at 2 o'clock as Shoshone goes to Cowley to take on the Rocky Mountain Grizzlies. Let's take one more break, and when we come back, we will bring you the second half of action. Again, Riverton on top of Rawlins 21-7. This has been the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. We're back with the second half after this on 105.1 Jack FM and County10.com.
Award-winning optics for the adventurous. From binoculars to spotting scopes, Maven has you covered. Be prepared for scouting, wildlife watching, or any outdoor adventure. As a proud sponsor of local high school sports, we wish all the Fremont County athletes the best of luck this season. Visit MavenBuild.com for more information and to order. Maven, discover something new.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give him a call at 307-332-7184.
Tires, tires, and more tires. Bailey Tire and Auto Service offers a huge selection, great prices, and fantastic service.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Haley. With over 13,000 tires to choose, Bailey has tires for your ATV, farm implement, car, truck, trailer, semi, lawnmower, wheelbarrow, you name it. If it has a tire, Bailey Tire and Auto Service can fix it or replace it. Bailey Tire and Auto Service is your one-stop complete tire and service shop. Just remember, with Bailey's, there's no tricks, just tires.
Get ready to explore Wyoming's stunning parks at Fremont Motors during the Open Road Sales Event. We're giving away a complimentary Wyoming State Parks pass with every vehicle sold, so you can get out and explore our beautiful state behind the wheel of a brand new vehicle. Plus, all Fremont vehicles come backed by Fremont Care, so you'll be covered no matter what the Open Road has in store. Visit Fremont Chevrolet GMC in Riverton, or shop online anytime at FremontMotors.com and start your Wyoming adventure today.
Friday. How about Friday?
Friday. All right.
The weekend starts here.
It's a Friday tradition. Wolverine football is on the air. Here are Wolverine analyst Scott Fuller and the voice of the Wolverines, Jared Anderson.
Thanks again to the Wyoming Department of Transportation for our Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. We're just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half with Riverton on top of Rawlins 21-7. This may be the longest I've seen teams in the locker room here as Rawlins has finally reemerged out of the middle school area back to Wolverine Field, and still yet to see the Wolverines. I know they had some homecoming royalty, part of the football team, but even with an extended halftime, the Wolverines yet to come back out here on the Wolverine Field.
Well, the good news is obviously up on the scoreboard, 21-7. Also happens to be, if things continue on this line for the rest of the game, it's great that a big homecoming crowd can see this success so far for the Riverton Wolverines. It's something that you and I, seeing every game against really good opponents, most weeks have seen, and we see the potential, but we have not seen it eventuate on the scoreboard until the first half of this game. And now the question, again, coming out of the halftime locker room is how does a team that's not used to being up by 2 touchdowns respond and come out and repeat the first half, basically.
Still awaiting the Wolverines. There they come out onto the field with 30 seconds on the clock here before the third quarter. Again, homecoming festivities at Riverton High School. They kind of had a different schedule of events with the parade and then the burning of the R ceremony on Thursday night this year. But a lot of that was because the Lady Wolverine volleyball team is on the road. They're at a Casper tournament this weekend. Usually the volleyball team gets a home game for homecoming, just like the football team does. But ladies on the road to one more tournament here, and they'll add some extra time to that clock. So instead of a 20-minute halftime, we'll make it a 23-minute halftime and keep going with this one. But a couple of reminders for you here as we strap in for the second half of action that coming up in 1 week. It's the Keeper of the Gold game, the Riverton versus Lander rivalry. This year, Lander Valley High School will get to host that, and Lander and Buffalo right now in a lightning delay, as we mentioned, but Buffalo up 14-0 in that one. Tigers will be hungry to try to get their first win of the season next week, and that is a 6 o'clock kickoff. You can join Wyatt and myself and Scott from Bill Bush Memorial Stadium next week. And one of the things I asked Coach Lenhart about was focusing in on homecoming week, but another factor may be staring at the big rivalry game next week here with business to take care of in another half against the Rawlins Outlaws in front of them.
Yep, going to come out here and close this one out before you start worrying about the Keeper of the Gold game, but that's obviously a bit of a distraction. I wouldn't say as much as homecoming week is. It's always going to be a rivalry, but the place that these two programs in Lander and Riverton have been over the recent years doesn't take anything away from the history of the rivalry, but these are both teams that are trying to climb back to where both fan bases want them to be. So far, so good here in the first half against Rawlins for the Wolverines, though.
Riverton won the coin flip and elected to receive to start the game, so it'll be Rawlins football first here to start the second half. Outlaws' only touchdown came at the 6:58 mark of the first quarter as Charlie Fonseca had an 8-yard run. That was an impressive drive that Rawlins put together kind of right out of the gate and picked up a 4th down conversion on that drive. Went up 7-0, but Riverton has rattled off 21 unanswered. All their points coming in the second quarter. They did score on the first play of the second quarter, but still trailed 7-0 at the end of the first. They lead 21-7 here at halftime, and I think we are just about ready after the very extended halftime show for more action. The lights are on here from Wolverine Field. Mostly cloudy. We have avoided precipitation, knock on wood, to this point. But it is a chilly evening. Most of that wind has died down, too. I see the big flags here at the stadium straight down. I see some smaller flags on Frontier Academy's building across the way, blowing gently. And, of course, frigid temperatures starting to drop even more. Even a little breeze feels even chillier, but not as bad as that Wyoming wind could be right now.
This is true. The video on your screen on the YouTube channel looks a little bit fuzzy. That's so that we're trying to prevent some skipping. I think we have the Gambles replay machine up and running as well. And knock on wood, we'll bring you the second half of Riverton and Rawlins.
Let's hold together here. The short kick is fielded by a Rawlins upman at the 30-yard line, who gets free across the 35 down to the 36, but not much more than that. So Rawlins will take over after the short kick at their own 36-yard line to start the second half.
Real sense of urgency here for the Rawlins offense. They're down by 2 touchdowns on the scoreboard. Don't want to overemphasize the point, but this is a run-first team. They're not built for the quick strike. They're built for a long, slow, methodical game, and they really, really would almost need some points on this first drive of the second half to stay in this one.
Both Covelo and Allard are in the backfield. We've seen them both take direct snaps, but usually when Jackson's out there, he takes it first. The snap is to Allard. He'll hand it directly to Covelo, who's got a hole up the middle, closes pretty fast, but he still picks up 5 yards on first down.
Covelo was mentioned by Coach Linhart to you before the game, Jared. He's a shifty back. Seemed to be the only real offensive weapon that Coach mentioned to you before the game anyway. And he's one that you want to keep contained. Keep him between the tackles, because if he does have a little bit of space, almost Nick McIntosh-like, where if he's got any room at all, he's got quick feet and can break something outside for a long way.
Covelo has 9 carries on the ball game now. Has gone backwards a few times, so it feels like his stats are a bit skewed. He'll get the carry again and is met by a couple of Wolverine defenders right at the line of scrimmage. So Larson in there again, making first contacts. Talon Tillman gets the credit on the PA, so we'll give Talon some credit too. Those are the first and second Wolverine defensive point getters. Talon far and away the first, but Larson real close there in second.
Yeah, Larson's having to do that job in run support. Single high safety, he's had to chase down a lot of really fast guys in the first couple of games of the year.
Third down and 5 coming up for Rawlins. Allard out of the shotgun. Nearly saw a Wolverine defender jump, but he stayed on the right side. Give it to Covelo again. Try the left side. He plows forward right to the first down marker, and I think he's going to move the sticks. Needed 5, and I think he got 5.5. They'll move him.
Pretty much getting what you're expecting from Rawlins with Covelo and the run scheme in general. Just have to watch being lulled into between the tackles there. That's right about the time when a team like this likes to run a screen or a play fake or something outside.
Wolverine cheerleaders and student section organizing a mosh pit, it looks like, down on the near end.
Warm.
Near end, yeah, that's exactly right. There's a big carry for Vaughn Grant. We've seen big number 68, Vaughn Grant, carry the football twice. And Vaughn has a nice pickup, a first down, a gain of 10 for Vaughn.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see coming at you if you're a linebacker for the Wolverines. Big guy carrying the ball right at you and wearing an offensive lineman number has to make you think twice.
Give it to Covelo again, who's tackled in the backfield by a couple of Wolverine defenders, slammed hard to the turf.
Good pursuit, good angle there from the right end as well as the far side linebacker coming in. High and low, but legal on the contact. Does lose a yard, so 2nd and 11 coming up for Rawlins.
Zarek Prosser, one of a couple of Wolverines there to finish off the play. 9:20 remaining third quarter. Riverton on top of Rawlins 21-7. Give again is to Covelo, who is stood up by that Wolverine defensive line. Picks up 3, but it's going to bring third down and about 7.
This is what you want if you're the Riverton defense, to force them, the Rawlins offense, into 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7. An offense like this will consider 3rd and 7, 3rd and long. Have to go to a different side of your play sheet for this one if you're Rawlins. See what Riverton can counter with here.
Vaughn Grant is in the backfield again, big number 68. They'll give it to Vaughn. Vaughn goes right up the middle. He's got a first down and a little bit more. Boy, when you need a big play, apparently you go to Vaughn Grant.
Well, he appears difficult to tackle. That's an understatement. He ran through probably contact of about 6 or 7 Wolverines at the various levels of the defense, and he's big. He's also, I think, deceivingly quick. He can move a little bit, but really just get that mass churning and keep those feet going, and it was more than good enough for a Rawlins first down.
Outlaws now unofficially 88 yards in total offense. Give it to Vaughn Grant again, back up the middle. He'll get 5, 6 on first down, and Vaughn Grant has now carried it 4 times. Didn't see a lot of him on film. I watched a couple of Rawlins' most recent games and haven't seen him carry a lot of footballs, but they found something good there offensively, it seems like, have the Rawlins Outlaws.
You almost have to spy him as a running back, which is strange to say, but assign someone to him. Basically, whatever he does, just go get him. You don't want to run blitz, because if he gets by you, he's big enough where you might miss.
Covelo is going to take the direct snap, try it off left tackle, and a much better job by the Wolverine defense that time. Caden Liebricht was in there, and a couple other Wolverines. Xavier Garcia, another one that gets the credits.
Well, see what we dial up here if you're Rawlins on this play. I mean, you're really tempted to go right back to the big guy. It's worked twice in a row on third down.
Allard out of the shotgun, has Grant back there with him. He'll give it to Vaughn. Vaughn try the right side, and it will be close. Good defensive pursuit by Clay Sheets.
If it is fourth down, and it is fourth down, the indication from the referee, I run the exact same play again. I mean, you give it to Vaughn and make Riverton make a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Fourth and pretty short. I think under a yard.
4th and inches coming up for Rawlins. Vaughn Grant is in the backfield out of the shotgun. Jackson Allard awaits the snap. High snap, give it to Grant. He'll try the right side. He's got a first down and is down to about the 15-yard line.
Football doesn't have to be hard all the time. If something is working, keep doing it. And so far the Wolverines have not shown that they can get Vaughn in the backfield. And definitely 4th and 1, that's your best option. Fresh set for Rawlins.
This is just the way Rawlins likes it offensively. They have chewed up almost half of the third quarter on the ground. Don't believe they've thrown this possession. And Covelo will take the shotgun snap again. Covelo tries to use a block from Grant, but is driven backwards, going to lose a yard.
Covelo hasn't been a problem as much on this drive, even with Grant blocking for him on that play. But stopping Grant when he gets the ball has accounted for like 97% of the yardage they've got on this drive. Riverton has to find some kind of counter for him. They have Covelo pretty figured out in the first part of the second half.
Second down and 10 coming up from the Riverton 15-yard line. Wolverines up by 14, 21-7, trying to slow down this Rawlins attack here in the third quarter. Allard will give it to Grant. Grant is stood up by several Wolverine defenders. A couple of Riverton hands went up like he fumbled it. They're still pointing Riverton direction. I don't see much reaction on the field as I do on the sideline.
Officials are looking, but I think they're going to call it.
Blake Gattenby.
It looked like a Wolverine came out of there with it, but they'll call him down. Ultimately, it was a gain of 3, so a much better job defensively on Vaughn Grant. It'll bring up a 3rd and 7 inside of 5 minutes to play in the quarter.
And the defensive coaching staff, a guy like Grant who's big and tough to bring down, that means that the ball is going to be available for somebody else to come in and try to strip away, more so than a speedy running back.
Covelo out of the shotgun will take it himself, try a hole on the right side. He's not going to get there. Picks up a couple inside of the 10-yard line, but we'll see what Rawlins opts to do on 4th down again here.
I think you just keep going. Xavier Garcia in on the play there for Riverton on the 3rd down. I mean, yeah, this is tricky. It's a long run situation, but do you go back to Grant here? Do you run a play action?
4th and 5, so a gain of just 2. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult on the playbook than it was last time at 4th and inches. It's Allard out of the shotgun. He's got Grant in the backfield with him. They will give it to Vaughn. Vaughn will go inside of the 5-yard line, carries the pile across the goal line, just kept it going and lost him in a cloudy dust there. But next thing I know, the officials raising their hands, and it's a Rawlins touchdown on a very impressive Rawlins drive.
That was, and it was all that big running back for Rawlins here on the Gambles replay. You'll see Grant. I think you'll see him in the pile. Just look at it, running backwards at one point, facing his back's to the goal line, and he keeps those feet backpedaling at one point. Just keeps the feet moving, keeps them churning. That was a extremely important touchdown for Rawlins.
Jose Morales converts the extra point, and it is a 7-point ball game here from Wolverine Field with 3:57 to play third quarter. It's Riverton 21, Rawlins 14, and there's only been one possession of the quarter.
But as you said, Jared, I mean, you nailed it. That's Rawlins football. That's what they want to do, and it's all part of the overall strategy even when you're trailing. You can't be a quick strike offense, and so as long as it's still within reach, chew as much clock as you can, narrow that margin toward the fourth quarter as much as you can, and then hope your defense can step up and make some big plays. Riverton's offense have to warm up here on the sideline. They had a 25-minute halftime. They've been on the sideline for the entirety of the third quarter so far. I'm only half joking about that. It's chilly enough to worry about cramping or anything like that, but
yeah, it has been maybe a lapsed time, about
almost an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say 50 minutes, but it's real close to an hour since the Wolverine offense has been on the field. An 8-minute, 3-second possession results in a Rawlins touchdown, and the Outlaws are within 7 now. Jose Morales will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Nick McIntosh, Ty Sheets back deep to receive for the Wolverines. If you're listening on radio, Riverton in their black uniforms for the first time this season, trimmed in cardinal red, black helmets.
I like them.
I do too. I like that I can read the numbers too. I can't read them as well on that red uniform. Ty Sheets has the return out to the Wolverine 25-yard line.
Wolverine football at the 25.
Get this Wolverine offense going again. Find some kind of rhythm for the play callers and the guys out there on the field. As you mentioned in the first half there at halftime there, Jared, you're going to want to establish the run. It's important. Running back by committee with the injury to Jordan May for the foreseeable future. Just lure Rawlins into that line of scrimmage enough where you can find one of your receiving options over the top.
Ball placed at the 26. 3:51 to play, third quarter. Been a long time since we've seen this Riverton offense. DeVries out of the shotgun will send Ty Sheets in motion and has a cast of Wolverines to the left side. He will use a block, and DeVries carries it for a gain of 2 off the left side to start the third quarter.
It's a nice job by Derek. I think this was a big part of the offensive plan preseason, and then the first play of the year happened in week 0 against Powell, in which Derek DeVries injured his ankle, and it's bothered him ever since. I think it was going to be Jordan May offset by Derek DeVries quite a bit in the run game, but now, as you do, as injuries happen and the season goes on, you have to improvise.
DeVries goes under center at this time. Tight formation. Sheets will come in motion again. Fake the pitch. They'll give it to Sheets, who has a nice hole and a whole lot of room. Sheets is across midfield. He will finally be tackled by Fonseca from behind, but he's all the way down to the Rawlins 25-yard line.
Show you the end of this play on the Gambles replay, and let's give some credit to the defender here for Rawlins for chasing down this play. Gavin Sheets on a full sprint is not easy to catch. There's at least one Rawlins player who was up to the task, but that is, how about that? You get a chunk play off the run game, and a very simple run concept means your offensive line did their job on that play. That quick hitter that has been used against Riverton in that Star Valley game and the Cody game. Riverton gives it back to Rawlins here.
47 yards on the Ty Sheets carry. I was going to say go back to Ty, but they'll fake it to Ty, give it to Tillman, who's got 5 yards on first down.
It's a lot of yardage in just 2 plays. And here again, don't throw it unless you have to. Maybe go back to it on second down, see if your offensive line can create another hole.
2 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the quarter. Rawlins held the football for the first 8 minutes and 3 seconds of the quarter. Riverton now on the move. DeVries out of the shotgun. Faked like he was going to throw. Now he just tucks it and goes, and DeVries is in the end zone. Touchdown Wolverines from 25 yards out. Derek DeVries.
This is frankly lacking play in the secondary here by Rawlins. This play is not hard to diagnose in the backfield, but the angles that were taken by the linebackers in the secondary on that play, nobody really got within a legitimate tackling angle of Derek DeVries on that play.
Saltzgaver's PAT is through the uprights. He is perfect on the night, 4 for 4. Derek DeVries, 25-yard rush to the end zone, and Riverton has reclaimed that 14-point advantage at 28-14. So one possession for both teams. Both find the end zone, both primarily doing it on the ground, but Riverton took a lot less time than Rawlins did.
And you got to get creative in the backfield, and you put Gavin Sheets back there. There are a lot of athletes who can carry the ball for Riverton, and like the play designed to give him the best shot he has at a big play, make it a quick hitter. Hits the line really quickly and the linebackers very quickly, and he's down the field for a big play. A couple of plays later, hit your quarterback on a very simple, just ISO run almost, to take a step to his right, then go straight right into the end zone for a touchdown.
Back deep for the Outlaws.
Covelo and Fonseca back deep for the Outlaws. Saltzgaver, Hunter has it teed up for Riverton. We've mentioned this a few times throughout the season, but Hunter Saltzgaver has been a great weapon as a sophomore kicker for this Riverton team. Perfect on field goals, although has only kicked a couple of times. Fonseca will take the kickoff return to the 20-yard line, and not an inch more. He'll start at the own 20. Good kick and a good job by the Wolverine kick coverage.
It's honestly the only small reservation I have about putting Saltzgaver in the backfield is he's very valuable as a kicker, and you don't want to see anything happen to him. Obviously, carry the ball, but you got to use your athletes where you can. Rawlins now exactly where they were, down 14 points to start the first half as we approach the end of the third quarter, or the second half as we approach the end of the third quarter.
Covelo will take the direct snap again, trying to find a seam on that line, and will carry the football for a gain of a couple on first down.
Guarantee you during that brief offensive drive, the defenders who were not out there with the offense were being coached up on how to deal with this 1-2 punch in the backfield for Rawlins. It was not Covelo on that first drive of the second half. It was their big change of pace back who Riverton just could not find a way to get on the ground.
That is Vaughn Grant, who's back in the backfield with Jackson Allard now out of the shotgun. Allard will carry it forward for a gain of about 1. There was some confusion right out of the snap there, it looked like. Don't know if Allard wanted to run with that or not, but he
3rd and 6.
Didn't pick up much, maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd and 6. We're inside of a minute to play in the third quarter. Caden Liebrecht recorded the tackle for Riverton.
Did look like a cadence mix-up there. Similar to we saw at the end of the game in Evanston, where maybe the center snapped it too early there.
There's some movements on the offensive side. I think Jose Morales came out of his stance first. They'll back him up 5.
That's another cadence mix-up, just the other way. Going too early there as opposed to the center snapping the ball too early. Back-to-back miscues. One results in a loss of down, one results in 5 yards. That's not what Rawlins needs right now.
Bring up a 3rd and 10 as the official winds the clock inside of 25 seconds to play in the quarter now. If they snap it, this may be the last play of the quarter unless they throw it incomplete, as fading to throw was Jackson Allard and wanted Fonseca on the far side, but it's knocked away incomplete. Jackson Allard now 1 for 8 passing, and we'll see a Rawlins punt here presumably before the quarter ends.
Jackson Larson didn't quite get over there on the run support single high safety play. There was a window there. Wasn't a poorly thrown ball. Nice job by the far side corner there to make it a difficult catch. Forces a 4th down.
Jose Morales will punt for the second time on the evening. Sheets is back deep to receive. It is a high punt that's going to hit right at the 50-yard line out of bounds. See if the official places it at the 50 or if it crossed over there earlier. He'll walk to the 45. He continues the march all the way up to about the 43-yard line. So Riverton going to take over in very good field position at the Rawlins 43.
Probably the last play of the third quarter here with 6 seconds left on the clock, and now the writing is sort of on the wall for the Riverton offense. I mean, there's no reason not to run. There's no reason not to get creative with a couple of very simple run schemes, simple handoffs. I wouldn't even pitch the ball here. Don't want tempting any fate. But force Rawlins to show that they can stop the run before you think about doing anything else. Just kind of play some of their own game, work some of that clock, and get toward the end of the game.
DeVries out of the shotgun. Fake the handoff, and he's just going to carry it himself. Picks up a couple, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter.
28-14 is, I think, every Wolverine fan here in the stands, watching at home, listening in the car. I think if you'd have given them a 2-touchdown lead over Rawlins in this game, going into the final frame, every single one of us would have taken it. But Riverton has earned it. Offense looked great in the second quarter, hanging 2 touchdowns there, and the defense has been consistent enough, accompanied with the offense able to make up the ground score for score with Rawlins. This is the conversation that you've had with Coach Lanehart and that you and I have talked about, Jared, quite a bit. Get to the fourth quarter, up 2 touchdowns. This is where you have to learn as a team how to finish games. Don't make any mistakes. No turnovers. Don't allow Rawlins, if they get the ball back here after this possession, to run back right down the field and score again. It's where you find it deep within yourself when you've had a long homecoming week, full of distractions, long football game, you're tired. You got to find a way to close those plays and close out the game.
2nd and 8 for the Wolverines to start off the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter is set to begin with DeVries working out of the shotgun. Wolverines have a 2nd and 8 coming up here from the Rawlins 46-yard line. DeVries will fade to throw. He's under some pressure, tries to get away, gets rid of it, and it's off of the hands of Jackson Larson, incomplete.
Thought there Derek might have been throwing that ball away, but no, he got the ball on the hands of Larson as he's rolling out in the grasp of a defender. That was an athletic play. Every time Derek DeVries moves laterally too quickly. I worry about that ankle. He is obviously not concerned about it. Doesn't seem to be phasing him currently at the moment, but he's got his team in the huddle, breaking the huddle now for a 2nd down and 10.
See what the Wolverines draw up here on a 3rd down and 8. Gattenbein in the backfield. Gattenbein will take the snap, reverse it to DeVries, who wants to throw to Sheets. Ty's got a 1st down, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Show you the end of this play on the Gamble's replay.
Brings up a Wolverine.
Thing about having Gattenbein in the backfield as a running back option is you have to respect him as a ball carrier, but he's also our backup quarterback, so he can throw the ball if he wants to. And do like that play design when you have the starting senior handing to the backup sophomore. It was a little bit too hot, I thought, in there with the throw by Gattenbein, but nice adjustment by the receiver to convert the 3rd down for a 1st down. I'll figure out what down it is eventually, Jared.
Ball is at the 31-yard line. DeVries is going to hand it to a running back. First guy through is Gattenbein. Gattenbein's got a big surge, another 1st down, and he's down to the 15-yard line. So Blake picks up 16 on the carry.
The thing about Blake as a ball carrier is he's not the shiftiest. He's not necessarily even the quickest, but he's going downhill from step 1 as soon as he gets that ball, and he doesn't care who's about to hit him. He runs with a fearlessness, and he's not afraid of contact. And those guys can be difficult to wrap up if they're not responding to you as they're carrying the ball right before you hit them. It means you have to make all the more perfect tackle to get him down.
DeVries stands under center. He's got Gattenbein behind him again. Give it to Blake. Blake will try the right side, and
ball came out
late. Was he down first? Either way, they're going to say Riverton Football, and Gattenbein will pick up 3 on the carry as the clock continues to run.
I think fortunately for the Wolverines, Blake's knee did get down right before the ball popped out. It popped out well in bounds, too. That could have been that play that we're talking about, that mistake you don't want to make, but it works out well for Riverton.
Empty backfield here as DeVries stands in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers, Sheets and Gattenbein, out to the right side. He's got trips to the left. DeVries wants to throw, looks across the middle to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Branson Saltzgaver with his 2nd catch of the game, and the Wolverines strike again.
You empty the backfield out, you stretch the defense out, and this is as easy a throw and a read as you're going to see even in high school, as you're going to see a quarterback be able to make. Just looking at his slot guy, makes a nice little in-cut move there on the fake. Kind of a hitch and go, and Derek lobs it up right over the top of the defense without a problem.
The extra point from Hunter Saltzgaver is through the uprights, and Riverton has their largest lead of the ball game, largest lead of the season, 35-14 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. So Branson Saltzgaver had a 12-yard touchdown catch with 1:02 remaining in the 2nd quarter. He has a 12-yard touchdown catch here in the 4th quarter, and RHS on top, 35-14.
I'm going to wager to say this is the largest lead the Wolverines have had in a long time. Don't have the history books right here in front of us, but this is an unusual feeling, I'm sure, for fans of the Wolverines in recent years. And this is good to see, Jared, because I believed that Coach Lenhart has come in from even the first days of camp and practice, preached the right message, had his guys focused on the right thing. But with that schedule that we came out with to start the year, you just didn't know for sure. We saw the potential, but when you're playing Cody at Star Valley, it can be difficult to verify that until you can find a equitable team in conference play. And Riverton has welcomed in Rawlins here at homecoming tonight very rudely, and the potential, I think, that we've seen with Coach Lenhart in a game like this is starting to manifest itself.
Riverton beat this Rawlins team last year, but the score was 14-6. It's been very different on the scoreboard here so far. Covelo will take the end-over end kick out across the 30-yard line, continues to try to fight the pile forward, gains a few more after contact, and will bring it out to about the 34-yard line. That's where The Outlaw offense will take over with 10:40 remaining in the ball game. Riverton on top, 35-14. Coming up this quarter, we will work into the broadcast the Wyoming Catholic College student athlete, or the student of the week for Riverton High School. Thanks to Wyoming Catholic College for putting a spotlight on academics across all Fremont County high schools. First and 10, Rawlins Outlaws. It's Covelo to take the direct snap again. We've seen that quite a bit. Covelo off right tackle will gain 2.
For the Wolverines, maintain your gaps, wrap up, good tackling, no silly mistakes, don't do anything crazy. Just stick with your base defense here. Rollins is not built for this. They really have a whole lot, not a whole lot of choice, does Rollins, except just run your offense and hope that you can slip a big play. And for the Wolverines, that means just maintain your gaps, wrap up, make the play, do it again.
Allard out of the backfield, give it to Von Grant. Ball's on the turf, and the Wolverines have it.
Let's take a look at this on the Gambles replay. This is a clear fumble. Nice job on the pursuit there in the backfield to knock the ball free, and then see a couple other black jerseys in there on the recovery.
That is Caden Liebrecht coming up with the fumble recovery. Caden was our Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game at Evanston, and Caden coming on to do another nice job defensively all night tonight, really, but getting the credit for the fumble recovery is extra sweet, and a whole lot of high fives on the sidelines for Caden.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is putting a team away. Not bending at all, but in fact creating plays for your offense. 10:02, still plenty of time, but Riverton's in a very good spot here. Good field position to start this drive.
Whistles before the snap, and Riverton wants to take a timeout to chat things over. Coach Lenhart saw something he didn't like there, so we'll take a timeout. That'll give us an opportunity to spotlight the Student of the Week at Riverton High School, made possible by Wyoming Catholic College. We say congratulations to Sydney Jevney. Sydney is involved in a lot of different extracurricular activities. Sydney's heavily involved in the FCCLA and has been in culinary club since she was a freshman. She's a member of the National Honor Society, regularly tutors other students, and Sydney competes regularly in cake decorating contest. Sydney wants to go to the University of Wyoming, either for athletic training or speech pathology. She is the daughter of Kelly and Jess Jevney. Congratulations to the whole family, and to Sydney Jevney, the Wyoming Catholic College Student of the Week.
Awesome.
That'll be Wolverine football, first and 10 after the timeout. They've got it at the Rawlins 31-yard line. Again, a Caden Liebrecht fumble recovery. Riverton on top, 35-14, looking for their first win of the season. And the football off to Gattenbein, who fights for a gain of 5 on first down. Nice first down play, and the clock continues to run.
See here on the Gambles replay, it's a sign of a well-coached offensive line when it comes to the run game. Look how far down the field on that second level blocking, continuing blocking down the field. They get in front of their running back, Blake, there on that play. That allows your running back to develop more lanes, maybe see a cutback behind you as an offensive lineman. That's what you do on a run play. Get as far down the field as you can, hit as many people as you can.
Gattenbein again stands behind DeVries. They'll give it to Blake, left side. Does a good job of making the first guy miss, and Blake picks up a first down, picks up 8 on his second consecutive carry. Blake now 7 carries for 25 yards, and he's down to the 17-yard line, and a fresh set of downs for the Wolverines with that clock continuing to move, closing in on 9 minutes remaining.
Finish off this one. Finish off this drive. That more or less puts Rawlins back on the bus here. And you can enjoy your first win as Coach Lenhart. You can enjoy a nice home victory for Riverton for homecoming.
Give it to Gattenbein again, who goes off the right side for 3 or 4 more. That Talon Tillman out there blocking out in front.
Again by the ball carrier here.
More of the same
Picks
here.
Up 4 on the play.
Picking up 4, 5, 7-yard chunks, mostly through Blake on the ground. And as long as that's going to continue to be the case, no reason to switch things up.
Wolverines led 21-7 at halftime. Did trail at the end of the first quarter 7-0, but 21 unanswered all in the second quarter. Rawlins struck first in the second half, but quickly answered by the Wolverines. And the football off. I believe that's Saltzgaver change of pace in there, and he's down near the...
Hunter Saltzgaver.
That is Hunter Saltzgaver, down close to the first down marker, but not quite there, so a gain of about 5 for Hunter.
That's good vision on the Gambles replay. This play is supposed to go off right tackle, and Hunter sees that there's a cutback lane right there. Nice vision to ride his blockers for an additional about 4 or 5 yards on top of what he'd already gained.
7.5 to play. Wolverines with a 3rd and 1. DeVries is just going to sneak it. Flag flies in at the end of the play. That was kind of impressive by the official to throw the flag that far, but for the moment, DeVries has a first down.
From where the referee is on this play, I wonder if they're going to get some kind of assistance call with the back pushing Derek at the line of scrimmage. That's really the only call I could imagine the referee from his angle on such a quick play seeing.
Is that the Philadelphia tush push that you're referring to?
It's now legal in the NFL, but officials are discussing this right now.
See what they sort out here with 7:25 remaining fourth quarter. Again, Riverton out in front of Rawlins 35-14 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. Hoping to capitalize here on this drive.
I'll give you $5 if ref says the words tush push. It's actually a sideline warning against the Wolverines.
Aiding the runner penalty.
Oh, it's an aiding the runner call. So they did call that push in the back, which was pretty apparent.
Bring up 3rd and 6.
To the official, the referee from where he was.
They've got to get a new signal for that because that is also the sideline warning.
I can imagine a few new signals, but we won't speculate.
3rd down and 6 for the Wolverines now. Football is at the 13-yard line. DeVries faked the handoff, roll out to the left side, makes one man in the backfield miss, searches around and finds a man in the end zone for the touchdown. Wolverines try to pick up who that receiver is. It's Nick McIntyre.